Well, hello, Mariah.
Hi, Monique.
You look beautiful. For our listeners, I wish you could see her. For our viewers,
Wow.
For our viewers, I'm impressed.
Wow, you're loving my skirt action
it's a vibe.
today.
It's a whole vibe for you.
I was just feeling it. The weather's nice and it's just ready to be somewhat colorful.
Well, I noticed, girl. Anyways, this joy that I have is like an effect of a guest we have on today. Someone I've known for a couple of years. I'm super excited for us to share her story and her experience and her journey. I know, you're excited as well. So I say Jessica Nelson of Maid in Duluth is here to share all about her experience, her journey, and we can't wait to hear what she has to say.
Yes, I think Jessica's story is one that is so inspiring. She has truly made herself a success.
Self-made woman.
We're going to hear all about that story. So let's just get this party started.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Heart and Soul, the podcast where we empower and inspire women to lead their best lives, harnessing the power of their hearts and souls. We are Mariah
and Monique,
your hosts and guides on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth.
In each episode, we will dive deep into topics that matter most to you, from self-love and confidence to career development, relationships, and everything in between. We believe that every woman has a unique strength and inner wisdom waiting to be unleashed.
Join us as we cover insightful heart and soul-centered topics and interview incredible women who've overcome challenges, chased their dreams, and found their true purpose. Through all of this, you will discover practical tips, strategies, and real-life stories to help you navigate life's twists and turns.
For whatever season of life you're in, this podcast is your safe space to explore, learn, grow, and possibly even laugh and cry with us. So grab your headphones, maybe your favorite drink, and we'll embark on this transformative journey together.
With heart, I'm Mariah.
And with soul, I'm Monique. So today we have a really lovely person who is our guest. And when Mariah and I interview people, we love to share little stories about when we first met. I first met Jessica Nelson when I was dating someone. She was at the receptionist at my ex's workplace. And I come in and I'm like, who's this little person sitting behind a desk that's so cute and so nice? Like, you were so nice. And anyways, I was just like, my heart went, oh, it was like softened the moment I met you. And now that I've gotten to know you better, you've been in our mastermind group, I've seen you be the powerhouse that you are. I'm impressed. You took it from to whoa. So top that.
Wow. Okay. Well, yes, I met Jessica when she joined the mastermind group. And I think that something that has maybe been part of Jessica's story is that she has often presented herself as smaller and meeker. She's a tiny little thing, but we have watched her just explode out of her shell and become
Lioness.
A fierce powerhouse of a businesswoman.
Yes.
And it's been our pleasure to be part of that journey and to just help her make some really big leaps and take her future into her own hands. And so she's going to tell us about that story today. So welcome to the podcast, Jessica Nelson.
Thank you
Maid
so
in
much.
Duluth.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we want to share with our viewers, our listeners, your story, because as we've both said, it's very inspiring. And so what we like to have our guests do is really just tell their story, going back as far as you'd like, and including as many personal details as you'd like about your journey through life and as an entrepreneur. And we'll ask you questions along the way. How's that sound?
Sounds good. I guess I can start by, when I was a kid watching my dad. He was an entrepreneur. He was a DJ by himself and a couple of friends, I think, started that. And then he and a group of guys started a construction company. So watching him build something from the ground up was, as a little girl, was, it was cool to watch. I know he was very busy and very hardworking. So I think that hard work kind of instilled in me from a young age. I had a really big, really strong support system, and I think that helped everything. And I kind of lean into my support system now as an entrepreneur myself. I think it's really important to have like pillars in your life that you can lean on and kind of help guide you along and push you along and just be supportive. So,
Would you say that your dad is one of your pillars? Because I think he was a single parent. He raised you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is he still one of your pillars even now?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lean on
He's
him
a great
lot.
guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's wonderful to have around, super helpful, and I learned a lot from him.
And I bet it was cool you were raised by an entrepreneurs as well. But it was probably really exciting to see the trajectory, like starting as a DJ. I don't know how much money DJs make. I'm not guessing as much as people who own construction companies, right? So probably like, oh, you can really do something with yourself. You can better your life through this business ownership, right? That had to have been something that was instilled in you.
Yes. Yeah. I think too, just working hard, because I know it was hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
interesting how children learn the model of hard work so much from their parents. Like that is something that is modeled. Some people have an innate sense of that, or a drive, an inner drive that is based in, they're motivated by money or whatever the motivation is. But that just watching your parents grind, like there's a lot to how you absorb that and how that translates later in life. So you obviously grew up with an entrepreneurial father, and then how did you find yourself as an entrepreneur? What brought you to that stage in your life?
Right. I never thought that this would be something that I would do, to be honest. I always worked different jobs. I always worked for other people, and doing something on my own was never in my plan. So to do it, I guess I just took a chance. I think betting on myself was probably the best thing that I could have done. And I just feel like, where was I going to go with that?
Well, that was something that we talked a lot about in our mastermind group, is you can bet on yourself, and you had to work to trust yourself and to believe in yourself. And there have been times in your life when that wasn't the case, right? And you got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like maybe when I met you, you were just starting sort of like your self-discovery journey. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you had always been on this trajectory where you wanted to better yourself. But I do feel like it wasn't always the case. And maybe I'm surmising a little bit, but like maybe that is what allowed you to open your mind up to, wait, I could actually do this for myself too, But could you talk a little bit about your journey and how that went? Would you mind? Your journey before becoming an entrepreneur, or kind of what led you to have enough confidence? Because let's be honest, you have to have a little bit of chutzpah to take the leap and to do the things that, okay, like I bet on myself, but like now I have, you have children, you have other people that you're responsible for, that if it was just us, it'd be simple.
Yeah, it's a lot harder.
Right.
I feel like I was always really worried about, what other people thought, and really lacked self-confidence. So I think that was a big part of it. And once I finally started to kind of have that self-love and really focus on myself and my needs and what really made me happy, I think that's when it really started.
Yes.
The growth really started to happen.
So before that, maybe you were like really focused on what other people expected of you, and not even what you wanted to achieve in your own right?
Yes. Yeah. Expectations. I mean, what people thought of me, what I should or shouldn't be doing, all that sort of stuff. I feel like I really worried about what other people thought more than what mattered to me.
I feel like that's a problem of the human condition.
Oh yeah. This
Yeah.
is
People
this is a
pleasing.
really difficult thing, especially for women.
Yes.
So tell us about your business and how you fell in love with residential cleaning, commercial cleaning, and tell us about Maid in Duluth.
Sure. Well, I started a year and a half ago, so October, November 2023. It started with one post-construction cleaning job, and there was just something about knowing that I was helping someone move into this beautiful home and getting it cleaned up and ready for them that really just lit my heart up. Being able to work at my own pace but be productive, knowing that I was doing something that was going to benefit my family and just kind of branch out and do my own thing I just knew that it was something I needed to do.
That one job just
That
lit you
one
on
job.
fire.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instantly. Then I ended up taking 2 clients after that and kind of just started slowly growing there from word of mouth and referrals. And now it's bigger than I thought it would have ever been, but it's wonderful.
You have been on a wild trajectory of
Yeah.
business growth, and that's a lot to manage all at once. And I think what's amazing is just to have watched from that early incubation of it. It wasn't even like full on, like you were only working it part-time. You
Part-time,
had
right.
another job when you
Mhm.
joined us, and we ultimately coached you all the way through leaving your full-time job, which
That was in May.
that was
That was in
only
May
a
last
year
year.
ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time
Yeah.
is it, yeah.
Wow.
When you are aligned, things just skyrocket
Yeah.
for people, I
That's
feel.
so true.
Yes.
There's time just speeds up because everything is moved out of your path and you're
Yes.
operating in the flow of alignment. And it was so clear to us that that's where you could be and like really wanted to be and had the capacity to be. You just needed to believe it in yourself. And so you did. You do that really hard thing of taking the leap and leaving that full-time job,
Mhm.
which was working with your family, with your dad. That was
Mhm.
difficult, I'm sure. But I feel like you never looked back.
No, I don't think so either. It's funny that you mentioned my dad. So he was one person that I definitely wanted to impress and to, I wanted him to be proud of me. So working for him and his company, I'm just not a desk job type of
Yeah.
person either. That didn't align with me. We've
Yeah.
talked a lot about that. So it was really hard to leave a company that my dad started and then to do my own thing. But he has been nothing but supportive, which is wonderful.
Because
And
he's wonderful.
yeah, and the owners too. I mean, now they give me business, so
Sure.
it's been really cool to now have this type of partnership. Whereas, it's just exploded into something that I am very proud of.
And take us back to like a year ago. It was only a year, right?
Mhm.
Like, I kind of would like you to describe for our listeners some of the feelings and hesitations that were going on within you that you processed, we had to help you through. Because if there's ladies out there who are thinking like, well, I could never do this, you're just a prime example of you really can do it,
Yeah.
but there are barriers. And they're typically, do you think that they're internal?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. A lot of self-doubt, a lot of questioning if I was doing the right thing. I mean, I have kids to support.
Yes.
Am I able to make enough money to support myself and them and everything else that comes with it? It was scary.
It is super scary.
Mhm, but also very empowering, very thrilling, I think that was a huge motivator for me too. To grow to where it is now, and even looking more forward to where it can be, that's also a huge motivator because it's only opened up doors. It's only I've networked with so many great, wonderful people. Um, I am able to support them and give myself the freedom so I can pick and choose and a lot more freedom to be present with them too. I'm able to go to their events and school activities and things. Also, I feel like my company model, that's part of it too. Like if my employees have something going on, absolutely. Family comes first.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And, that's something that I learned from my dad too. Family's
Mhm.
always first. That's your people.
Well, and here in what she just said, she already has employees and did very early on. You saw opportunity that you wanted to grow this, and
Yeah.
you weren't just going to be a solopreneur. You saw this as a company that you were building, and so quickly like
Mhm.
launched into supporting other people as well and bringing them along on the journey. And that has its own ups and downs, but I think you've done it with such grace and um, yeah, it's just phenomenal to have watched you handle all of this in stride. Like each month we're like, "Wait, what? You did what? You have how many employees?" And with just her just quiet grace and
Mhm.
I think, kind of pinch yourself. Sometimes we have to make you pinch yourself to be like, "No, you're doing it. You did this."
I feel like that is one of my strengths. I mean, especially in the beginning stages of business, I mean, you really have to go with the flow. You guys know more than anybody. So I really think being adaptable and flexible has been a strong suit of mine.
Yes, I would
And
agree.
also the people that I have with me on my team. I, yeah, I found a really strong person, Katie. She's been fantastic throughout all of this. And
Mm.
I mean, she's just as flexible and just as like, yeah, let's do this. You want to do this? Okay. How are we going to make it happen? So, yeah, it's been.
It's really nice to have a work confidant.
Mhm.
Yeah, that can really get you and help you grow. And I do feel like, and I might be generalizing. I know that this is not true of all female entrepreneurs, but I think when we are rigid with our staff or with ourselves, it's not as productive, but if yes, family does come first. Yes, you do have other obligations. We need to get the work done. We need to be, we need to be responsible. You just can't just show up because something, you have to communicate it. I feel like, that just lends itself to being to having more success, especially around female employees and, as female owners.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you remind me a lot of myself in that, like, I just remember that burning, like, just need to do the thing. Oh, after I worked my first wedding, I was just like, I have to do this, like hell bent. And just having that like innate knowing, like, it's just what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And I didn't want to do it alone. Wanted to have people alongside me. So, um, I just encourage you to keep building. Like you are off on such a good start, and like just continuing to believe in yourself. There's so much more out there. And I would love, just because I think that anybody listening could, especially locally in our area, could benefit from what your company offers. So I'd love for you to share just more about Made in Duluth. Like, what are all the things that you do? What are your philosophies, your core
Mhm.
values? Like, I just would love for you to share, because there are probably people that are going to listen to this that are like, I need her.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, we do residential cleaning, and that is like deep cleaning, the regular maintenance cleaning. We do move outs. We do the post construction stuff. We do commercial cleaning too in some offices,
Mhm.
mostly like smaller offices, none of the big, big buildings. But our main focus is the residential cleaning. Um, Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, every 3 weeks. I mean, like I said, I think being flexible is the biggest thing. Everybody's lives are different, and we really try to accommodate and meet families' needs as best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest investments women can make is in having somebody support them in the home,
Oh my
especially when
gosh.
they work outside of the
Well
home.
said.
Mm.
And I've said this for years in our mastermind groups among my friends. Like, I didn't do all of this without a team of other
Mhm.
women behind me. And one of those was always somebody helping me at home, between my nanny, housekeeper. Like, this does not just happen without all of those other people
Yeah.
contributing. The peace of mind when you come home to a clean house and your ability to just connect with your family, to get dinner on the table. Oh my gosh, it's a no-brainer. It's a necessity. And it's really hard to find someone who can fill that role in your home, so that you are out there building a company to help women with that task and to fill that, and it lights you up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a win-win situation for everybody.
Absolutely.
Like, I always tell women, like, invest in that service for yourself.
Mm.
And it helps the world go round. Like, if we're working, we need to pay other people to do work that we don't have time to do. And so it's just part of growing our economy. And when you can be investing in another woman-run business, like it's absolutely like a necessity. So you're providing a necessary service to people.
Love it. I always say, well, we have said that having a cleaner is self-care.
It
It
is.
totally is.
Yep. And
It is for me.
Yeah.
Yes. I would rather spend the money on that than having my hair done or my nails done.
Yes. Go for a walk.
Absolutely.
Go shopping. Let us clean. Let us take care of it. Yeah. And we do really pride ourselves on being reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Thinking about building your business, I know we've talked through a lot of different phases of like realizing, wow, I really need a system for this, or I need a tool for this, or as you've been growing rapidly, talk a little bit about just like what that journey has looked like. And I mean, you've been on an explosive growth pattern. So
yeah. Well, it's funny because, the Minnesota website, in order to start a business, everything is mapped out for you, right?
yeah.
Then once you get that checklist done, you're kind of on your own.
Yeah.
So true.
After that checklist was done, I think for a while it was more of let's try this and see how it goes. A lot of trial and error. Now with the help of Mastermind and you two, then we start doing standard operating procedures and
Yes.
getting the real nitty gritty things down and locked in place. And that has been, I think, again, self roadblocks. I think I am kind
Yes.
of like, okay, I need to do this, but XYZ, I can do that all day. But once I finally did it and now they're out to the employees, I've actually already seen some improvement.
Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah.
It's so funny how we resist
Oh
the
my
thing
gosh.
that can help us the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
I
It's-
just got
it's
full
hu-
goosebumps. Like, well, and the story behind this is we did a coaching call with Jessica, and we had called out like, hey, one of the next things you need to have is just standard operating procedures. And I remember on the call while we were chatting, I went
You
in,
did it.
ChatGPT pulled up. ChatGPT now thinks that I own a residential cleaning company because I asked a lot of questions. I pulled up a template, created it, emailed it to you, and said, like, start here.
Mhm.
And you ran with it. The next thing you know, you were like, boom, boom, boom. I've got this,
You
and
have the
this.
revision
But
back to
that's
us
what
shortly.
We need
Yes.
somebody to just make it simpler, easier, give us a tool, give us direction. And that's a lot of, like you said, young business owners or new business owners, like they don't necessarily get these tools or resources from others. And so we've tried to provide them through the group that we run. But they're really important because they can save you so many steps along the way that those like us who've come before you have had to go through or fail through. And so we're always just looking of like, hey, knock that out. Don't even go there. Do this instead and keep moving in your path.
Yeah, it's amazing what having something in front of you does.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay. And that's not set in stone, it'll ebb and flow.
Everything's
and
fluid.
fluctuate. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. And I want employees to have input in that too, of course. I feel like their voices matter.
Yeah.
So I'm really encouraging them to give me your input. I want to hear it. That's only going to
great.
help us grow as a whole. So
Well, anytime you have boots on the ground doing the work, they're going to have the best feedback for you
mhm.
about what's working and what's not working. That's a phrase that we use in my companies all the time. What's working, what's not working. Because let's learn from what's working
Yes.
and let's fix what's not working. And together, we're just going to continue to move forward in a good path.
Yeah.
One thing I just want to say, my observation of you, knowing you for since 2021, maybe?
Sounds right.
Yeah. Is that when you decided to start a cleaning business, your self-esteem in yourself, and please correct me if I'm wrong about this, but this is my observation, skyrocketed. I felt like you were like you said, betting on yourself, but more importantly, you were, I can say I'm going to do something, follow through and do it. And then you were just like, what's next? And that lends itself to, we had a retreat last year and you had been single for a long time and you were just like, I'm super curious about dating now.
Yeah. I think she specifically said, my goal is to find love.
It was.
That is true. You're right.
Yes.
Yes. Which is
that
the right
was
goal.
the next step
Mhm.
for Jessica.
But I feel like that only came about because you had just opened your mind to like, wow, I can actually do the things and get the things I want in life. Where before maybe because you were concerned about other people's opinions of you or what they thought you should be doing, you were wrapped up in that versus now I can get what I want. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I do think it started before,
Oh,
like at least 2, maybe even 3 years prior to us meeting.
okay.
I think that whole journey started. I don't know. I've been through a lot in my life,
Mhm.
failed relationships, all that sort of thing, and have put myself in situations that I should have been a little bit more picky and choosy about. I really think who you surround yourself is really important.
Yes.
But also, like, where it really started for me is when I got sober.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, that is a big part of your story.
Huge.
Are you willing to share? Because
Yeah.
I think this is something really important for listeners to hear
Mhm.
from someone in your shoes.
Yeah, we were just talking previously about how, growing up and when we were younger, even in our 20s, how um, alcohol had been advertised to us as like the way to have fun and you're
yes.
going to have all these friends and you're going to do all these cool things with alcohol. Well, I think when I decided to stop drinking, that's when I really started to dig into my mental health and my well-being and really started to work on myself.
Okay.
I think I needed to focus and find what made me whole and my true like being.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really think that's when it all started.
Okay.
It was kind of a slow thing, of course.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Growth is not linear.
Got to learn to walk
Healing.
before you can run,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yes.
Uh-huh.
The whole healing process. And I think I'm still there. I still have days where it's like, oh man, what is that? But yeah, I think being sober was a big, big part of it. And, having that clear mind and clear direction on where I want to go and the things I want to see. So, yeah. And then that led me to meeting different people and getting in different circles and just kind of putting myself out there a little bit more.
And newsflash, she did find love immediately following that retreat.
We believe on the drive home?
Yep. On the drive home, I texted you. You'll never guess what happened. Do you remember this?
Yes.
I do.
I got asked out on a date. Oh, man. My phone was blowing up.
Somebody you met because they were a cleaning client, right?
Yes. Well, a potential cleaning client.
Cleaning client.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Having work done on a space that he was remodeling. And I met him giving him a quote. Walked in and it was like, oh, who is this?
I got
a
little zap.
Oh, man. It was a zap. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I
I
love
hadn't
that
even heard
too.
you tell that part of the story.
Oh,
I
really?
love that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then we realized this quickly that we knew him.
Yes.
This was somebody that Monique and
We
I both
love
knew.
him.
And we were like, yes.
We're like, whoa.
It just makes sense.
Perfect
right?
It
match.
made sense.
Perfect
it was
align
like
match.
you got aligned. You
Mhm.
put it was the fastest manifesting I've ever seen.
Exactly.
Because the night before we were literally making vision boards and talking about manifesting love. And 12 hours later, she's like, I've been asked out on a date. And the next thing we know, here we are. We're planning the wedding. Yes. So awesome. And that aligned relationship has now just taken things to another level.
Oh, yeah. In every sense of the word. I mean, to feel so supported and safe and just encouraged. Yeah, it's great. And to be on the same, playing field where he's encouraging me, I'm encouraging
Well,
him.
he's an entrepreneur too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, he's very experienced. So
yes.
it's nice to be able to talk to him about things and to ask certain questions, ask certain advice. It's not obviously the main focus of anything, but it is nice to have him because he does know what he's talking about. He's been through a lot and very experienced and
Yeah.
knows his stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And he's a chef, so like bonus, good food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anytime you
Yeah.
can be with a person, excuse me, who can like cook for you.
The love language right there.
It's my love
Yeah.
language, apparently.
Oh, we're just so happy for you. I think like it's just so universe sent. Like you
Mhm.
have aligned yourself and done all the work to bring yourself all this good fortune. Like such a testament to doing the work, betting on yourself, aligning your dreams and living them out. And it's only up from here.
I have a question, and you might not be able to answer this right now, but like you've achieved a lot in a very short amount of time. Have you thought about like what 5 years out from now, Jessica looks like, what her life looks like? Is it more of the same? Is it, do you have new adventures, new desires, goals? Yeah. The life of an entrepreneur is always,
Mhm.
but sometimes even with my own trajectory, I'm like, 5 years, I'd kind of like to just be happy and have a holding pattern. But both,
Like, what?
I know.
I can't think 5 minutes out, but okay. Yes.
And maybe that's possible, right? Like maybe
Yes,
that is the answer too. Maybe you haven't thought that far ahead. I was just curious.
That's funny. I actually do. I think about it regularly.
Oh,
I am very focused on the present. Don't get me
Yes.
wrong, but I have thought about like different. I feel like I'm constantly thinking now. What else can I do? What
Mm,
else could I do?
Yep.
I think real estate would be really fun, like the
Mm.
Airbnb or have rental properties.
yes.
I think I would be really good at that too
yes.
because of the people and the connections that I have. And I just think managerial wise, I think I just have a niche for that kind of.
I love that.
Yeah.
Here you are
She
claiming it.
Is all well, it'll be done. She's already dreaming big. That's amazing. And again, when she sets her mind to something, it happens nearly
Yeah.
immediately. So
Yeah. It'll
can't
probably
wait
be
to
3
watch
years or
and
2.
See.
be part of that journey and to just continue to support you and just shout from a mountaintop that you are a success and such a model of bravery and
Mhm.
betting on yourself.
Mhm.
It's been a joy.
Totally. It's been an honor to actually be alongside you and observe how coachable you are. And like, you have such a positive attitude.
That's something that you just brought up, Monique, that I think is an interesting topic. Coachability, somebody's
Yes.
coachability. And we've seen that in our mastermind group, all of the many groups that we've had. Like some people are so open to coaching.
Mhm.
And when that aligns, we can see them move so quickly towards
Mhm.
their dreams and goals. And so thinking about yourself, like if anybody listening, like to go internally and like, how coachable are you? Like,
Yes.
oh, that's not something that I feel like we ask of ourselves or we have a measure of like, am I very coachable? Maybe
Mhm.
somebody who's been an athlete or played a lot of sports has a little bit different perspective on that. But when someone's coachable, wow, things happen
Yes, they
fast.
really, really do.
And when we're having session with them, but we're constantly met with sort of negativity or closed off,
Like I can't do that. I could never do
that
that.
can't possibly
Right.
happen,
Right.
or no, I've already tried that, didn't work. Like you just see a difference in receiving coaching. And it's so interesting to see how that prolongs the process versus somebody, Jessica being a great example. We've many of our typically if they've come to the mastermind, they've been seeking out some coaching. So we're
Yeah.
starting off from a good
They want it. Right.
place. But like just kind of asking yourself, like, how coachable am I?
Mhm.
What are my barriers to receiving advice? Why am I putting up walls? Or why do I think I know everything?
Yes.
And one of the biggest assets or biggest things that I've done in my career is recognize that I don't know everything. And that was thankfully at a point where like I kind of thought I did. But something changed where I was like, no, I really don't.
Yeah.
And then I sought out coaches and mastermind groups of my own and mentors. And wow, I don't know where I'd be without that. I would not be right here. And
Agreed.
so I think that's just a good example, of just in this episode of anybody, whether you're just needing help through a difficult situation, seeking therapy, seeking coaching, mastermind connection through a group. Like, what do you need and how can you go and get it? Like,
And that doesn't mean just to, like you were talking about, you had your own internal resistance, you had your own internal like roadblocks.
Mhm.
But I think what a coach does is they show them to you and you're like, oh shit, I can't hide from them, or I can't hide behind them because I have another person pointing it out and saying, it's fine, you can do that. But do you see the thing? And you're like, well, yeah, I see it. I live it every day.
Give you tools or a ladder to
Yes.
crawl over it.
Yes, exactly. And that the difference between what makes, I feel like your successes so evident is the fact that despite having those, which we all do, you chose to push through them or learn about them, why they exist, and use them as a way to like to grow and expand, right? That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing for me was the self-doubt piece of it.
Mm.
And yes, in order for me to make a change,
Mhm.
I needed somebody to point it out to me. Then I was like, okay, now what do we have to do? And I feel I take constructive criticism as an opportunity to make something better. It's not
Yes.
something negative, it's just a tool that you can adjust and make something better.
Mhm.
If everybody could learn that lesson.
It's really that simple,
It
right?
is.
We like to complicate it
It's
with all these
hard.
formulas and
ego,
not the
I think
best
ego
at
is a
it.
big thing too.
yes.
Like it's not an
Yeah.
attack on me personally or yeah. I saw it as an opportunity for growth and improvement.
I love that. That's so speaks to the growth mindset you have. And there's a lot of people who just, like she was describing, maybe aren't coachable, who have more of a closed mindset where I couldn't do this. I can't possibly think, about, you don't know my situation, or
Like your classic statement, be better.
do better.
Do better. Just do
Oh
better.
my gosh, I say that and then I cringe a little
better.
bit, but I'm like, come on, people, just do better. I swear I'm going to make it
There's
happen.
always opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like if you are stuck in that, you're like stuck. And I don't want to be stuck. So
No.
for
You are
me-
not stuck.
No,
Your feet are
girl.
moving.
Fast.
Get fall in with Jessica because you are going to just feel the energy flow when you're with her.
Yes.
So I'm just happy to be along for the ride.
Thank you.
And for all of our listeners, we're going to link your website.
Thank you. I don't have a website that's coming.
Thank you for
Yes.
specifying. So your contact information, is that what you'd like us to
Yeah,
share?
please.
In case anyone in the Twin Ports area of Duluth and Superior is interested in her services, they can reach out to her. So we'll link that
Wonderful.
and making sure that you can find her because she's amazing.
Yeah, get ready to be found.
Oh, love it. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today, Jessica, for sharing your with vulnerability, your story, and for having put yourself out there to join our group and be part of our sphere. Like we have obviously enjoyed it, enjoy your company, and look forward to continuing to watching your success.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, friends. You've just finished another episode of the Heart and Soul podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed the show, and if you've loved it, we would love if you'd leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening. You can find links to leave that review in the show notes, where you'll also find other resources that we reference on our show. And if you think a friend could find value in today's episode or any future episodes, please share this episode with them on social media. This is one of the only ways the podcast can organically grow, and we just can't wait to connect with you and all of your besties. You can also find Monique and I on our many social media platforms or our websites, and we're going to leave links to those in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening. We look forward to sharing our hearts and souls with you again next time. With Heart, I'm Mariah.
And with Soul, I'm Monique.